Hello everyone. Welcome to the setting up of Python. So we are finally taking that step. You will be setting up Python in your systems by the end of this session. Now there are many ways to set up Python. Basically, the language first gets installed from python.org. This is a website of Python. There we go. From here you can go in the download section and follow the method and download Python. But this is not what we are going to do because this is a very tedious process. I'll tell you why. Once you download Python from this website, you have to install various add-ons. Now the coding, it happens in something called as an integrated development environment. It's an IDE. An IDE enables you to type, compile, test, debug and edit your code. Some IDEs are so advanced and user-friendly that they can identify potential errors in your code as soon as you type it and point it out to you. This enables effective and faster programming. So stock Python, it comes with an IDE called as idle. It's a very basic IDE and it does not do any of this intuitive programming thing. For that reason, we use another IDE known as Spyder. Now this is found in the Anaconda Python distribution. So what you have to do is you have to go to anaconda.com or just go to anaconda.com. There you go. And then you have to go in this download section here, right? And you can see this Anaconda distribution of Python. It has Jupyter, Spyder, NumPy, SciPy, Numba, Pandas. All these things are already pre-installed, including TensorFlow. TensorFlow is the most used environment for machine learning. So now we are going to use Spyder from all of this. Now how do you install Anaconda? Here you have the Mac installer. If you click here, it will become the Windows installer, and if you click here, it will become the Linux installer. It's pretty simple actually. You just go in the installer, download whatever version you want. Once it gets downloaded, you click on it and then you install it. It will load the setup. You have to just follow the instructions, agree to whatever it is, just keep next, right? There you go. And then you will get this question out here. Okay, now this is what is very important. Okay, when you do this, you have to just tick mark this. Okay, it will say that it's not recommended and all that stuff, let it cry, but you have to tick mark both of these things. I will tell you why in just a little while. So once you tick mark both these things, and then when you click install, you will have your Anaconda all ready to be fired up. Right. So after installing, Anaconda will land up here somewhere on your desktop. For me, I've put it in my bottom taskbar. So once I click this, okay, it will launch Anaconda. You will see it doing a lot of opening and closing a lot of command prompts in the background, and then it will launch Anaconda. There we go. So we get this Anaconda navigator here, and all our required things are preloaded in this. So what we have to do next is launch Spyder, which is our IDE, which we use for editing, testing and debugging. Right. So once it's loaded, this is how Spyder looks. It'll open a temp.py file. We don't want to work on this. What we'll do is we'll go here and we'll open a new file. There you go. It gives us a lot of gibberish in the start. Just delete it. Right, and now we are going to write our first program. So in this new file, we are going to write our first Python program. Check if the Python installation works. So what we are going to do is print a single line on your screen in this fashion. You just do print, open brackets, open quotes. Hi, I am learning my first Python program. And that's it. This should be it. Let's see if this works. What you do is you click on this play button here. It'll ask you to save the file. What you have to do is you have to save your file as my first program. Well, I already have that, so I'll do my first program 1.py and save it, right? The moment you do that, out here this console will show you, hi, I'm learning my first Python program. So it runs out here. There's another way you can run it. You have to go in your command prompt. Just go in your Windows thing. Just go in the search bar, type cmd. It'll open the command prompt. Okay. And here you type you type Python my first program .1.py and it should run. Hi, I'm learning my first Python program. There you go, it works. So now during the setup, if you remember, I asked you to tick mark the other option as well. That was for this, where the default version of this Python is in your path. So when you type Python space program.py, it's gonna run the program in the command prompt. That was what that tick mark was for. So now you have written your first Python program. I hope it has worked. So now there's just one tiny thing left to do. Since Python has many modules and libraries, as we have discussed earlier in the introduction, we need to have an installer to install all the additional modules that are not already present in Anaconda. Now for doing that, what we need to do is first we need to go in the this, and we need to in Google and type pip installer for Python. There you go. When you do that, this first option which opens is pypy.org. You go in this, you can now do this. Pip is the package installer for Python. You can install this from other indexes. Okay, so you go in the installation section. Now first you have to download getpip.py. It is this file. Now you got to download it. So what oh sorry, I just shut it. What you have to do is, let me go back. You go on this thing, you right click, you do save link as. It'll be a Python file. You download it anywhere. It's in my downloads folder, right? So now what I have to do is, now I have to go in my command prompt. I have to type Python. I have to first go in my download folder. There you go. And then I have to do Python get pip.py. There you go. Oh, it is get-pip.py. So there you go. So now what this does is, this is going to install pip in your system. Now since I already had an installation, it uninstalled my version and now it will install it again, right? So since my computer already has it, so basically it not happened, but in your computer this will happen. So in this we are done with our session on setting up Python. In this session, we have covered installing Anaconda, checking Python with our first program, the print statement, and learning how to manually run a program in the command prompt. Now, we will meet you in the next session where we'll take our story forward. Bye.